say we're going to evaluate and see, where we can get better as a hockey team and be harder to play against.
I guess the flip side of that too would be with a guy like Skinner or Falk, they're young guys. Would you like to see them take on more leadership roles next year?
Yeah, and I think it's going to come natural. I think that's the fun thing right now is we got to look at this team as young. There's a lot of guys that haven't been through playoff type games, and I was sort of saying, like, from the Olympic break on this year, these games that we played in, yes, the Olympics are going to crank up, the playoffs crank up another level. It gets more intense. But these games that we went in playing were still pressure games. We were fighting down the stretch to grab that last spot. These games meant a lot. The pressure of some of these young guys playing through it. And if you look at it, a lot of these kids really stepped up down the stretch. Lindholm was really contributing and playing better. Skinner was scoring. Justin Falk was really excelling near the end. Nash, started the season on the fourth line and then battled and got into the position where he should be, slated on the third line. So you're looking at these guys learning from that. I think they're excited because they like playing with each other. They're bonding together. They're growing together. And it's not that you say, hey, you got to take the more leadership role next year. I think it's going to come natural. They're all Carolina Hurricanes. It's their team as far as the organization that drafted them, so they should feel that pride. And I think you could see it down the stretch how much they have fun playing with each other. They're going to come in next year, 1 year more mature. They want to win, and I think they're going to not refrain of sitting back as much, but they want to initiate a little bit more. And that's going to be fun to see them develop that way.
Manny Malhotra, I was told told he wasn't going to play hockey again, came in here, found a role, became a leader on this team. What did he bring to the team this year? And as a former player, you look at someone who's been able to kind of turn to resurrect it.
Well, if I was a young guy, just talking about that, I was in that dressing room this year, and then Manny Malhotra came in, I would sit back and go, oh, wow, that's a real true pro. In fact, I shouldn't categorize it that way. I think any player in the league this year is going to respect what Manny did. To be told you're not going to play is not something any pro player wants to hear. He kept in shape, worked, did everything he had to do, and when he got an opportunity, he's like, I'm willing to go to the minors to prove I can still play. When we watched and evaluated him, we said that he has areas of his game and his personality that we need in our locker room. So when he did arrive, we brought him in to be an extra leader in this group. He stepped in, and you could tell right away that he felt comfortable. I think he helped Eric out a lot. I think they have a really good relationship. Manny's been on some very good hockey teams. He's gone through the playoffs, the finals, so he's got that experience. And he has a great personality of being able to work with the veteran guys, the young guys, and that professionalism of how he prepared and was ready to play all the time. You can't have enough of those type of guys. The bonus part was the level of play that he played in at times this year, where he because of injuries he played more minutes than we wanted him to for different reasons. But there was a stretch there where he was playing against the top lines, checking them. He contributed a little bit offensively, and his specialty of penalty killing and face-offs made us one of the top teams in the league in face-offs. And I think that's just a natural. That naturally happens when a player is so elite at a role like that. It makes the other guys compete harder as well. And if you look at it, all the centers face-off percentage has increased since Manny got here. So he really brought a lot of intangibles to our game, both on and off the ice, and was a great addition. And everyone, not only here but in the league, you can see we go to different rinks. People really have a lot of respect for him and are really happy that he was able to come back and play.
You talked about the young guys being excited down after the Olympic stretch, what was probably the most frustrating part after that Olympic stretch when you lost all those games? What was the most frustrating part for you, after that break?
Yeah, I think the most disappointing or frustrating part probably was the start when we went into Buffalo and then went into Dallas and then the California games, the 3 games right there, and just pulling off the one victory, and yet we felt that we were doing a lot of good things. So it would have been, I think, coming out of the gate and getting a couple wins early would have, confidence-wise, and just staying par with everybody and keeping pace. So I would see those first 5 games were the tough part, and then you fly home and it's always the toughest game, the first game back. We have the Rangers, which was a big game, and then it was a back-to-back right up to New Jersey. So we kept saying, hey, if we keep doing the things we're doing, we're going to win hockey games, and we started to win after that. But you can't afford to play well and not pick up points.
There were some bad starts to games this year, Kirk, and players would say legs or weren't ready. What, as a coaching staff, do you do in an off-season to get a team prepared to start a game better?
Yeah, you know what, we that's one area that we're going to sit and look at and see, evaluate and see what we can do different. We tried morning skates, no morning skates. We excuse me. I went with loading up the shortening the bench, as you say, in the first period, and getting the top guys out early, going 4 lines, getting everybody into it. So we explored different options, and at the end of the day, there was too many games that the first wasn't our best period, and we got better in the second, third. So you know what, we're going to evaluate it. We're going to figure out the solution and how we can come out with more of a team ready to go. In the first period.
How close is this team to the identity that you want them to be, an aggressive team that can get after it just from the jump? I'm very optimistic that we're real close. I mean, when we're playing, when we're healthy, and we got 12 forwards that are participating in the game, we're a better team, and that's the key. We got to get our man loss down to the 160 range. We can't be in the 200s. We need to be because when we are, we beat a lot of the top teams this year. You look at even at the end. I mean, we walked into Pittsburgh, beat them there. Walk into a tough ring in Detroit. The game meant something for them. We went in there. At Philadelphia was probably the only game down the stretch that didn't mean anything for a hockey team. But we beat some of the top teams in the West. So I believe in the system. I believe that when we're playing it at the best of our capabilities, we show that we can beat all the top teams in the league this year. The key will be doing it consistently.
When you talk about endurance and player injuries and so forth, a lot of teams refer down to their AHL club and trying to bring up some depth to fill holes. How confident, or what's the plan or your thoughts on utilizing maybe Charlotte a little bit more as the system's building up with younger guys that show something and maybe can help in that regard?
Well, I mean, every organization needs support from their minor league team, because there is going to be injuries. But I mean, the bottom line is, when we assemble a team, we got to feel comfortable that that's the group that we can win with. And when there is injuries, I mean, that's where you call upon him. But you look at this year, Boychuk, he's a player that was developed down there and went to a couple teams last year and did the cycle, and I think he is a learning thing for him. But I give him credit. He took that experience and made it a positive. When he came up this year, he played well, and he did what he was supposed to do. I thought that was the best hockey I've seen him since I was here. So we're gonna need guys like that to
to come up and jump in and participate and make a difference. Chris Terry came up, had a couple points to win game, helped out on the power play. So yeah, you need players to come up and support the team in different parts of the season when you do have injuries.
Kirk, a little earlier, Chip asked you about your relationship with the veterans, one of whom was asked yesterday if your message is getting through, and he begged off the question. So I don't know if that's just a situation with him or if there are others who fall into that category. And is it a case where you might need addition by subtraction to get everybody all in, marching to the beat that you want them to march to?
Well, you know what? Like I kind of said earlier, you know what? When you don't make the playoffs and we're sitting here today, there's going to be frustration. There's going to be disappointment, and there's a lot of pride in players. So everyone's going to have a different opinion of different things, but I truly believe that again, with our group playing this system, being healthy, we can be a good hockey team. And but we need everybody. And I think for me, it's like looking down the stretch. I thought the last home game here that we played was a game that we'd like to all forget, but I think it's the game that was the first one where we mathematically were out and we just got deflated. But other than that, our guys played hard right to the end. So I didn't see any quitting in the guys. I didn't see any. Of course, there's disappointment and frustration, but all in all, right up to the last game in Philly, I thought our group pushed.